Bloomberg and Value Line put forth a list of evaluations of volatility and stock price stability. This notion of very stable is a designation that is accorded to companies by Value Line that have a stock price volatility rating of 95 or better. That means you're at the very top 5% of what they consider to be stable returns and stock prices. And this is according to Value Line. So out of the S&P 500, there were only 83 that were deemed to be very stable. Now that's interesting. Very stable doesn't mean that they're positive returns or negative returns. It just means that they're stable. Let's look at how many companies had total shareholder returns over the decade of 5% or more. Only 56 out of the S&P 500. And when you consider the kind of profile that Southern Company has, remember our number was 11.4%, only 25 had TSRs better than 10% out of the S&P 500. One last statistic that I think you'll find interesting. If you take risk into account, so you can make this kind of assessment in a lot of different ways. What we did here was take TSR, total shareholder return, and divide it by the amount of risk. So we do a risk-adjusted return. There are only 7 companies. So that's interesting. And then I want to do one more for you. In these uncertain economic times, sometimes you will just have a bad year. There is the notion of capital preservation. Over the last decade, you will have good days and you will have bad days. Southern Company led the S&P 500 in capital preservation. During the worst of times, Southern Company performed the best. So when you take all 3 of these things into account, performance on dividends, evaluation of risk, and performance in terms of total return to shareholders on a variety of methods, Southern Company is truly an elite company and in very rare territory. So I hope you found that interesting. But it isn't just those statistics. If you look at Fortune magazine, they do an evaluation every year. Southern Company's been rated #1 in financial soundness for the past 3 years. And there's lots of other accolades we could talk about. The one I just want to highlight, kind of summarizing it all, given the performance, and I'll go through the priorities, but given the performance of this company over the last year or so, we were named the Power Company of the Year by Platts Global Energy Awards. It's a very prestigious magazine and a prestigious award in the electric utility industry. So now let me turn to my 5 priorities. As I came to you before my first annual meeting, I established these 5 strategic priorities to really set the tone and set kind of a benchmark of performance for this company for the years ahead. And it shouldn't surprise anybody that the strategic priorities haven't really changed. I think these things, and we'll consider changes along the way, but these things I think will be steadfast in the years to come. Let me move through these rather quickly. First, stick to the fundamentals, our business model. Remember, it puts customers in the middle of everything we do. We define our effect on customers by providing the best reliability, the lowest prices, with the best customer satisfaction that we can deliver. Clean, safe, affordable, reliable electricity is our mission in life. And we've performed beautifully. Let me start with safety of our employees. 2011 tied this company's best performance ever in industrial safety. That is near and dear to our hearts. It remains one of the highest priorities we can possibly have. We performed as well as we ever have. Further, in terms of reliability, our generation fleet is done beautifully. We have this statistic called equivalent forced outage rate. You want that number to be as small as you can. When you call on the plants to run, how often are they not able to run? With an industry average of about 6.5%, Southern Company had a terrific, again, industry-leading performance of 1.3%. So the generating fleet is running beautifully. The wires part of our business, transmission to distribution, likewise is doing great. We're on a 10-year trajectory of improved performance in terms of reliability, and as invariably we will have outages, how fast do we get them back on? We're doing great there. So in terms of the fundamentals of our business, in terms of our operation, make, move, and sell electricity, safety of our employees, we had a terrific year. Let me turn now to the second strategic priority, achieve success with our major projects. Now, what I typically call out here is Vogtle 3 and 4 and Plant Ratcliffe at Kemper County. Remember, that is the 21st century coal plant that we developed in our own research and development facilities here in the United States. Recall that we're the only company doing proprietary research and development in our industry today. And both of these projects are on target, and the targets are achievable with respect to schedule and ultimate cost to customers. So we're doing well. Those are the flagship projects of this company. There's obviously a lot of other things we can do, but we've got to be successful on these very visible, nationally important projects. What I'd like to do right now is call upon Paul Bowers, CEO of Georgia Power, to give us a highlight on Vogtle 3 and 4.
Your regulatory